With a strong absence of neurons firing away, one netizen writes, I know they ask, why don't you date an American woman? Well, American women are highly feministic since white woman feminism encourages women to go for tall men. I am 5'6" and they rejected me. I had given up on women and I thought that I would die alone, so I had three choices in America, which are get height surgery, which is dangerous and experimental, go for a fat woman, or go for women that are my age but mostly are all already single moms. I don't know why feminists are getting mad when they didn't even want us in the first place. Someone responds, first, you must understand that modern women are not feminists. They are opportunistic capitalists who use feminist tenets to obscure their behavior. They aren't interested in equality, only anything that men use to have the upper hand. They don't want a level playing field. They want an advantage to take revenge on the so-called patriarchy. Keep in mind that their idea of revenge is basically everywhere being Sex in the City where they get easy access to rich men and hot guys for sex. This guy is so mistaken. Every single girl in my life that I know, they do not care for capitalism. They care not to wedge their house keys between their knuckles in a parking lot. This is a mental war that you continue to fight with your own mind. You will never win the war because it is against yourself. In conclusion, you remain a loser. Not in like a mean, childish, derogatory way, just logically speaking, you're a loser. Because you lose the match. Yeah. Meanwhile, this is what many, not all, don't get emotional, many passport bros are writing about in their forums. Listen to this. Been in Manila for about 5 months now, leaving soon in a few weeks. In the last months, I had my girlfriend live with me. Lots of ups and downs. So he goes to Manila, gets a girlfriend, and has her move in. Mostly us, but she can be extremely annoying, defiant, and clingy at times. But I guess that comes with the territory of dating a 19-year-old.
Oh, is he?
Ooh.
Mid-late 20s, I think. This is the first time I've had a partner live with me, and it has made me realize that I'm not ready for it, and maybe I never will be. Things were a lot better when she would just come and stay on the weekends, and I would be seeing other women during the week. Today we got into a fight. I wanted to eat pizza for lunch, and she wanted to eat something with rice. He goes on to detail that he threatens to abandon her without a ride back to their house, threatens to starve her until she starts, quote, acting right, and sits down at the restaurant with pizza. He says, I can see how a lot of Western guys with no dating experience come here and eventually get worn down and steamrolled by a girl they're dating because they're still in that Western scarcity mindset. But I know that I'm the prize here. It's amazing it has so many options here because I know if she gets too ugly, I could just be dating a new girl tomorrow. And she knows this too.
Wow.
Which I know some people do argue. The guys are getting something out of it, and maybe some of the girls, which side note, I think it is very strange that we all believe everyone wants to move to America. Some people think, if the girls do want to move to America, they know that the guy is not in love with them for who they are. This is their way to get a green card. By all means, do your thing. Everyone do their thing, right? It's its own little ecosystem that's working. It's a checks and balances. But these days, the passport bros are very angry about this idea as well. One writes, loving my passport bro decision, but I'm bringing my Filipino wife back to the West. I want to empower her to thrive, grow, and be fulfilled as a person. But I am concerned about her becoming converted to woke, politicized feminist ideas. It sadly happened to my previous Western girlfriends. Fellow passport bros. I see in the comments. It's probably going to happen. I would not bring her to an environment that fosters that mindset, but you do what you want. Or, fact is, all the alternatives to every aspect of Western culture promotes selfishness and lack of accountability and rewards women who have no morals. She will have friends and acquaintances on top of that that are influencing her. It's built into women's brains, unfortunately, to never be satisfied or grateful for what they have, no matter how great it is, and always keep wanting more. Another commentator just gives tips. Having an anti-feminist mindset is smart. She has to see the average Western feminist woman as foolish and unattractive. Frankly, there isn't much feminine about the average American feminist woman. They pretty much act like men. That's why you did the passport thing. You didn't find them attractive. You didn't want to be with a woman that had a male mindset. She needs to fully understand that and see how unattractive that is to you and to most men. But ultimately, if you bring a woman to the West, then she's going to turn into the woman that you're trying to avoid. Other people just encourage him to impregnate her as quickly as possible when she gets to the United States so that she can stay focused on him and the family. So is that what Ryan faked his death for? To be a passport bro? That's a...
So I was listening to this dude, like, left his family, faked his death, and he shows up on TikTok talking to a TikToker, and like a random TikToker. She's just like sitting there with a sign on her shirt that says "Ask me for free advice." So this dude who's on a bike stops in front of her and is like, "Should I leave my current life and go live with my girlfriend in Uzbekistan or something?" And she's like, "Why are you going there? Like, you can't find someone here." And he was like, "No, I'm married." And she's like, well, I think first you need to have a discussion with your wife. And he's like, yeah. And then this dude shows up missing like a month later. And like his boat's turned over in their little lake. It's not a little lake. It's a massive lake. It's like 238 feet deep. His canoe's flipped over upside down. His car is there. His wallet's in the car. His passport's at home. He's missing, and he ends up being missing for quite a long time. So they were saying that this dude, the dude that was on the TikTok, looks like the guy who
Is
missing. Did he leave his wife and kids and wife and move to Uzbekistan? That's where the whole passport bros thing came from. I was like, oh, relationship stuff, yeah.
That's fine.
But while I was listening to it, I heard her talking about like the ideals of the passport bro and what their thoughts are on Western women versus Eastern women, and I thought it was a good idea to talk about.
I like it.
However, it was very long. I feel like almost like there were so many different points made from different people in that maybe we should have like chopped it up, like stopped, talked about it, and then continued on.
Yeah. Because honestly, some points I checked out. I was like,
yeah, you're not gonna be able to come back to it.
I did want to say, like, something that you had brought up earlier was like, and I was counting it too, like the countries that some of these people would go to: Brazil, Colombia, South Korea. Like, South Korea is second to first world country, but Brazil is, I would argue, is a second world country. Colombia is like borderline third world. And you're going to these underdeveloped countries that don't have the same capitalistic mindset and that push that Americans do. So obviously there's going to be that difference is going to be attractive, I would imagine.
yeah.
But it's like it's almost predatory. Like, here I come with my knowledge and my wisdom and the money and the experience that I have, and you who has none of that,
Or you
can
assume
see
they
it.
have none of
And
that.
you could assume that they have none of that. But you see this and you see it as like powerful and dignified and respectful, even because you're raised to see that. You're raised to see like how that affects the world around you. And of course, it's also like, how amazing is it that this person who is high and dignified has come down to me, you know? And it puts, I would imagine that it puts them in a catch-22 or a monkey's paw, where like I can go ahead and like stay with this person even though they don't treat me as well, and find a way to leave when I can. And like when she was talking about like getting your green card, my thought was like, this is just a different way of, yeah, no, it's unplugged. But this is just a different way of like it's a different way of a woman getting her money, you know? It's like, the game hasn't changed. It's just what is attainable or what's desired is different. It's not money. or power. It's freedom.
For who?
For them, potentially her family.
And him seeing himself as the prize being presented to her, it was like she sees you as freedom, being able to get out of her country and come to America, the place everyone just claims they want to be.
Oh my!
But
It is.
no, because
But it
in their
is.
eyes, they claim everyone wants to be. We don't even want to be here, sir.
That's because we're raised privileged. Like the moment we are born, we are privileged.
Not
What-
everyone has the privilege of being in the U.S. And not
Correct.
everyone realizes not everything is like green here. Like
Also,
the
also
grass
correct.
isn't always greener on the other side.
Yeah, but what country doesn't have its problems?
Exactly. Like these men assume that these problems they have in their relationships are just going to go away if they go somewhere else. No, they also have the same problems in their country, and women have their own things going on in their country as well. You can't just pop up and think everything is going to be okay. No, they have shit going on in their life, in their mental, that makes them just as much like an American woman. Like, we're not all that different.
Right. I think in this scenario, the passport bros mentality is going to these other countries because traditionally they are, they're traditionally in religion, the woman takes a step back from the man. More than one step back, really, if you really think about it. So, because they're brought up in a traditional way, I think that's what the passport bros are seeking, because they want a woman to stay in her place, if you will, in their eyes.
See, here's. I have so.
And
many
that's why they're
problems.
saying
I have
that.
so many problems.
That's why
Yeah.
they're saying that I wouldn't bring someone from one of those countries back home because they're going to be influenced to. They're going to be enlightened.
Yes.
For that there is a better way for her. And now that she's home or in your home, she can maybe find someone who has those thoughts of that they want for their woman to, I mean, if me personally, I feel like that's a lot of free time that the woman would have at the house, taking care of the house, to where she can find someone who is, because I mean, if you bring someone from over there here, first they can't speak the language usually,
Right.
So what are they going to be doing? They can't get a job. They're just going to be sitting at home. They might eventually go grocery shopping or perusing, walking the mall, and I mean, they're beautiful, right? Someone's going to hit on them.
Yeah.
Someone's going to know the language eventually. They're going to be able to communicate. She's at home all day. She can learn English. It's just not hard. It's difficult, but it's not hard.
It's difficult. Yeah.
It's not like impossible, So, and usually they already know a few words or a few sentences anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. I've been to a lot of these countries that they mentioned in there, and I loved them. Beautiful. Probably won't see anything like that here in the States anywhere that I've been so far.
I know.
Some of the sceneries.
You send me stuff on Instagram. I know.
But do I want to live there? I can see it being okay for a while. But there's small things here in the States that we have that you wouldn't think you wouldn't even think about living without until you're there, and you're like, holy shit, like, man, I don't know about this. This kind of sucks. This is kind of like ancient. Like, why are we living in the dark ages?
Yeah, like it seems backwards.
Yeah. I mean, it's like there's been places where I couldn't like hit an ATM and get cash because like the ATMs just don't work after a certain time of the day. Like what?
Yeah.
Like,
You're like, no,
Yeah, like, you know, some places you go, you don't get ice with your drink, or like ice is like a commodity. Like you pay for ice, like extra.
Wow,
like we
really?
pay for sauce. Like yeah, like that, because their infrastructure, they don't have. They don't have.
They don't have.
They don't have that. They don't have ice makers. They don't have. For them to have ice, they have a fucking like a straight up ice box,
Mhm.
and you go in there, you chip that shit off a big ass block. You know, like. So like I don't know. It's just AC. Like some places don't
Some
have AC.
people, yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, elevators. There's, you know, I had a, I had a place I rented. They did not say what floor it was on. This shit was on the 10th floor and not a fucking elevator. So you to bring in 2 large suitcases up 10 flights of stairs for like a 4-day stay then you're like, come on, man. Like,
You're like, I'm in shape, but not that much shape.
Yeah, like-
and I'm on vacation. Like, I'm not supposed to be working out.
so now when I travel with just a carry on. But like, you know, things that it changes.
Like, certain things you don't know that you need to do your research on before going there.
Right. And I mean, some stuff is minor inconveniences, but like,
It's like,
some
damn, I
stuff
didn't
is-
know that before taking this flight.
yeah.
Then
Right.
not even to go that deep, I was like to think like some black people that have moved, they didn't think about the black community that they left. How now you may have found maybe 5 other black people who live near you. Like some people who have moved to Japan, they're like, it's different being here. Like my family that lived in South Korea, yeah, it's different. And to top it off, you just think about those minute things that we do every day here, like going to our local like hair store, or just like getting our hair done. There are things like that you can't do in another country. Just those small things that we take for granted, even as someone of color, is like, I can't do that over there. There's certain things we're not accessible to. And not even like in a race way. It's just they don't have a lot of black people, so that's not there.
Right, yeah, they don't have that, yeah.
Did you know that this is related? I promise. Did you know the place that was considered the happiest place on Earth? What country is considered the happiest place on Earth? I think it's as of last year.
No, I couldn't tell you.
I think it's Norway, from what I remember. And that sounds well, fine, and good until you find out what is the most racist place on Earth.
The most racist?
The most racist.
Are we talking country?
Country.
Man, I don't know.
the
Because
happiest place in the
France, well, I mean,
No, France is bad.
France is pretty.
He's told
I think
me
they
war
were
stories of
second.
France. He's told me war stories of France.
Everyone
But I
has.
feel like it's not so much. I feel like French people sometimes just don't like Americans.
I don't think they like anyone.
That might entirely
like
be
besides
true.
themselves,
They
and
like their people,
even
they like-
themselves. I
They
don't even
might
think they
not
like
even
themselves.
like themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm like, what the hell? Like, oh my god.
But the most racist place on earth is also Norway. It might not be Norway.
Like Finland,
But
I think.
It's
Yeah.
one of
Somewhere I wouldn't have thought.
It's like in
it's
that area.
yes, it's somewhere where you wouldn't have thought. I believe Western Europe. And no, Eastern Europe. I'm sorry.
Don't like that
Yeah,
one either.
Eastern Europe. Eastern. I was literally thinking about it. I'm like, I'm getting my geography right? But yeah, Eastern Europe has some of the highest like racial biases. And I'm like, I feel like that makes sense. Because for who knows how long, you've only seen people that look like you, act like you, and talk like you. And it's only within the most recent 100 years or so, 100, maybe 150, with the invention of the commercial airliner, where like the world just got really big, and there are a lot of different people coming through an area, and I don't know what these people are or who they are. And to passport bros, it's like, oh, this is like enticing. This is something that, like, these women are raised on these ideals. While to them, it's like, who's this fucking American? Like, I would imagine to her father, it's like, who's this fucking American? Like, who is this guy? And why is he coming for my daughter? I don't like this. I don't approve of this. But I actually wanted to talk about something you had said earlier, where it's like the traditional household, if you will. And like their ideals and whatnot. And the traditional household is, yes, the man provides while the woman tends to stay at home and take care of the house. But what bothers me the most is that people will use the Bible as like this. It comes from this. It's like, do you understand the concept of Adam and Eve? They're not made as one being lesser of the other. It's that Adam was made. Yes, he was made first. Then God took a rib from Adam and made Eve. Took a part of a man to make a woman. That means that we as men had to sacrifice. We had to give up in order to be with our female counterparts. I personally believe that we as men have a duty and a right to have our wives stand side by side with us rather than behind us. That shit pisses me off to such an extent that I feel my blood pressure raising. Because it's like, how can you, as a fellow man, say that women are lesser when we are made up of the same parts? Not entirely, but mostly of the same parts. It doesn't matter if you're... It doesn't matter if you're created first. It matters that you are both created for the same thing, for the same purpose. I just want to throw hands all the time, though. Every time I hear it. Whew. Okay.
Okay, so do you believe that having a lesser role, when I say lesser role, I meant like for a woman to have to stay at home, provide for the house, cook and clean, dinner ready for the man when he comes home, or shortly thereafter, or whatever, meal prep, you did it Monday, it's whatever the hell. She stays at home, doesn't go to work. Do you feel that as lesser?
I do not.
Do you think they feel as though that's lesser?
I do feel that they feel it's lesser.
Who's they? The men or the women?
It depends on who you talk to. Because I can definitely see that some women see it as lesser. And I understand, but I don't agree. Because life is cyclical. We as men can do both. We can go out, we can provide, we also stay home, we can cook, we can clean, make sure everything is done. If she made $150,000 a year, you best believe I'm staying my ass home and making sure that everything is taken care of. Because what do I look like not picking up the part that she can't fully carry? You know? What do I look like not making sure that everything that she would want is taken care of and done? And even if she didn't want it, I'd still want to do it because I want to feel like I'm contributing. But maybe that speaks to me as a man.
Okay, let's say this for example. Say Kayla's bringing home $250,000 a year.
Okay.
So that, not saying you couldn't do it, just saying like currently, let's say in the situation you're making 90.
Okay.
Does that mean you stop working and you become a house husband? What about the dreams and stuff you had as a child and an adult after graduating, high school, college, whatever? What about those dreams? Do you just put those to the back burner because she is now the breadwinner?
Why?
Because that's what most females feel when you tell them or you say, I want a wife who's a housewife who stays home and takes care of the kids. That would be the same scenario reversed. Would you feel like you being put in a box? Would you feel like you're being put in a box? Sorry.
I'm going to say no. And the only reason why I'm going to say no is because we have found a way to fulfill our dreams from the comfort of our own house. People can sit at a computer, play some games, and earn money. We are sitting in a house that none of us own, and have the capability and possibility to earn money just by talking to each other. Whatever dream you feel that you need to go out and achieve, go out and do it. Dreams don't require permission. I'm a very firm believer in that. Write the book. Draw the thing. Bake from your own house. Go out and go ahead, stream. Like, do the thing that makes you happy. Now,
what if the thing that makes you happy is like working construction or being a mechanic or those things? You have to be right. You have to be present.
Yes.
In those environments, and a lot of the time, those environments require long days. Days. So you're not going to be at home cooking.
I understand that. So,
in this scenario. Only in this scenario, she's at work making her $250K. You're going to work construction. Who's cooking and cleaning? She's gonna feel as though she's making $250K. You're making 60 to 90, maybe 100 if you're working a lot of overtime. But there's no one cooking. Right. There's no one ever home. The house is jacked up. And this is like roles reversed, like guys are running into. They feel as though they should come home. All this stuff is done, should be done, and it's not done because whatever. There's kids involved. They, appointments, whatever. She might be trying to do her own thing, but time-wise, she doesn't have the time in order to be home and do all the things that you as a man feels though in a traditional role she should be doing. So yeah, the goals of the person who stays home do kind of get put on the back burner. Can't help but, especially if there's kids involved.
Right, especially if there's kids involved.
So in a way, that is saying like at least for 20 years, you're not going to do really what you want to do. You're going to be taking care of the house. 20 years is a long time.
20 years is a long time, and I'm not gonna disregard that. I'm not saying that it's not difficult, and that is not something that can be taken lightly. Like, it's very serious, and I completely agree. However, the thing about it is that you're not in this relationship by yourself.
One would hope.
One would hope. You're not in it by yourself is the thing I'm getting at. And so that's where conversations come in. You figure out a schedule that works for the both of you. Like, okay, I understand that we have, like, you bring in this much. I would like to work this job to be fulfilled. And we're going to have to figure out a way to make this work. It could go as simple as, like, getting a subscription service in order to have meals that can be prepared in, like, rapid succession. You know, it could go as far as, like, you make $250K. We could hire a cook and have a home cook and, like, have home cooked meals, you know? Or with the house, we could hire a maid, have the maid come through, like, once every 2 weeks, once every few weeks, you know, have it cleaned and professionally cleaned at that. Because, like, yeah, I can go ahead and I can clean something, but it's not going to be to the same extent as, like, a professional cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
But, and maybe it's the fact that I'm naive. Maybe it's the fact that I am 27 and we're what, 2 years? We're in our second year of marriage now? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's that. I don't think that's what it is, though. At least I don't think so.
I don't want to get in the way of this scenario.
No, we need some.
No,
You've been kind of
go
stewing there.
ahead.
You haven't said much
Go
of nothing.
ahead,
You know.
yeah.
No, certain
'Cause you've
situations.
been quiet.
Yeah, no. I mean, we were talking about, what the woman might want, and we have a woman sitting right here. She's got the
Certain
voice.
situations and conversations.
Use your chest,
I do like to let you guys talk because it is supposed to be your podcast.
man.
So I do like to let the men
No,
talk
we need-
about certain topics.
Listen,
This is communistic now.
we
This is our podcast.
Yeah, we specifically didn't record a week because you weren't going to be able to be available. So I don't
Yes.
say that it's just our podcast.
No, I meant like it was supposed to be like a man
Nah.
podcast talking about.
I don't even. Yeah, no, we're no.
You know what I mean? Like that was the original
Look,
goal.
I am the law. He is the chaos. You're the scales that balance the two. See, it works.
But the scenario put aside, there are people who have that type household. There would be I say your wife makes more than you, and so husband decided to stay home. He takes care of the family, and then eventually, when things are good, balances are all right. She's able to work from home more. Like her business is up and running. Things are good. They switch. She starts working from home. He can pursue his dreams. There are households and people who have talked about this in their relationship. They have worked things out with each other.
There's a movie that has this. Kind
Yeah,
of.
because there are households who do this. They make it work. I was like, because no one in a healthy relationship wants their partner to stop their dreams just for a period of time so that one of them can focus on theirs and then we switch so that you can focus on yours. And then we can be the power couple we all want to be.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Right.
There's a quote.
One moment.
Sorry, I was gonna say there was a quote that
I was
I
gonna
really
say
like.
these passport bros, they don't have the intellect to think that that type of relationship can exist. They were raised that the traditional household is all it's ever supposed to be. So all they want is to go to another country where they can still find a woman that thinks the subservient way, and they will stand few steps back. While here in the US, more women are being raised to stand next to their husband instead of behind. They don't have the intellect to think that way. You were saying?
Real quick. The thing, so I can't remember where I heard this, but power isn't supposed to be for people to lead. Power is better used in service. When you have
For everyone.
for everyone,
Yeah.
yes. Power is meant to be used as you giving back. I see that face. It's supposed to be.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we don't have bad actors. It doesn't mean that we don't have people that will abuse that power and use it for their own gain.
P Diddy. I'm just kidding.
Man.
Just kidding.
But it's I know how it's supposed to be and I know how it is. I'm an optimist, but it doesn't mean that I'm blind to the inequities. And it's just unfortunate that people feel the need to cling on to power. It just makes me sad. Because it's like, you can be selfish. You can hold on to it for as long as possible, or you can show how much power you have by giving it away and putting yourself in a more subservient position, because that's where real power lies. That is where people often shine the brightest, is in service of other people.
Sounds like a BDSM relationship.
Hey. Hey.
Just saying. No. Okay.
I mean,
no, really. I do want to go back to. I do want to go back to something you said earlier. You said that. We were talking about a guy making, whatever he makes a year, going to one of these countries and being like, feeling as though they're the prize, having all these options. Is that not what we are raised to do? Is to seek out opportunity and use what we have in our arsenal to exploit that opportunity to our benefit as Americans? Isn't that what, like, so, like, if you look at like you said, the game doesn't change, right? If you look at the world as a game board, you could say, okay, well, I could stay here where I have, with my, $100K a year, and I could do these things, or I can go over here and take where my money will go further. Would that not be the smarter move?
Yeah, that's the capitalistic mindset.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a catch-22, like you said. Like, you're raised to think that way, but you shouldn't act on it. Is that what you're trying to say, or are you trying to say they should stay where they are, where they were, and find someone there and who most best fits that or maybe just stay single, not have anyone, like.
I think the difference here is, like, yes, try to go to other countries and make opportunity for yourself, or vice versa. The difference is the opportunity here is a woman that he's seeking, and in a way, like you said, is predatory. Like, he'll go and, of course, find a younger woman who doesn't exactly know everything in the world yet. I mean, none of us do. but may not know as much as where you came from. Like someone who's 18, 19, 20, just getting out there in the world doesn't know as much. Now you're being a little bit too much of opportunistic, because now you're taking advantage of her.
So what if they found that same age person here in the States or wherever they are from? Would that be any more or less opportunistic?
If you're finding someone here in the States, well, one, he wouldn't be a passport bro.
True.
And you would hope you're
Or
finding this person for the right reasons. Because you're just marrying someone to make that happen, or to maybe please your family that I've gotten married, or to appease something. It's like, you do you, I guess. But we hope that most people are finding love for the right reasons. To find love, not just to get married.
I feel like I get where you're coming from. And it's the question of, it's really the question of morals. And that's really what it boils down to. What do your morals say? Because morals are so ambiguous, and there's so many shades of gray. Like, someone could be raised to think one way, and that's how, like, that's where their morals lie. And then you see it, and it's like, oh, that's wrong. Like, that's very wrong. There are a lot of universal morals that we have. Like, murder is genuinely, like, looked down on. But
unless it's for your family's honor.
Unless it's for your family. Even then...
We can all be Mulan on a good day.
Yeah. But even then, murderers tend to look down upon.
Yeah.
Revenge is one of those things that it's like, we understand it, but it's also generally like, probably shouldn't do that. However, it's like, well, also like slavery is genuinely looked down upon as well, more times than not. It really is a question of morals. Like, and not only morals, but it's also like emotions. And those are things that are so dangerously ingrained into us. Like, we as people are like, I don't know, 75, 80% emotion, 20% logic. Like, yeah, we think things through sometimes. Some of us are like more so logical, but like a lot of things that we do are based on impulse and like how we feel. And something else that I learned is that some people don't have introspection.
Isn't that crazy?
That's the
I wish I
weirdest
didn't.
thing.
Oh my God.
No, you don't.
Oh yes.
No,
Oh yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Oh,
You
buddy.
know why? Because you'd be a vastly different person.
That's cool. I'm down to ride that roller coaster.
Without some people don't have introspection. And without introspection, it's like you can justify anything without introspection. But with it, there's that, there's empathy, there's compassion, there's a lot of negative things that go along with it too. There's guilt, there's shame, there's a lot of these emotions that essentially like get released inside of you and get brought out into the world and kind of cast a shadow over you. And at the same time, the world has a different perspective. You see things differently. You interpret things differently when you have that introspection. I think this is a case of a lot of people with a lack of introspection. Or something, or they're ignoring it, which is probably worse. because then you're willingly going against what you interpret is right, what you interpret is good and just. And you start going down a route of, I don't like to use the word evil because evil isn't, I don't think evil exists. Because, what was that?
I don't know. What was it?
Just a twitch in your face.
He said, "I don't make faces." What are you talking about?
I don't know. But you don't think evil exists?
I don't think evil exists in the way that people think it does. Like, people can do evil things, but it's usually rooted in a misconception, misjudgment, or something that is like personal to them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like, being evil is like, I don't know how to put it, like willful, not even willful ignorance, like like a literal deliberate choice. And for some people it's not a choice, it is a choice, but it's like an unconscious choice, you know? Okay. One example of, like, I can only think of evil for like video games. One of them is Undertale. I love this game. I will refuse to shut up about Undertale because it's a fantastic representation of what evil is.
Okay. I haven't played it. I haven't played it.
Fair. I haven't played it either, but I've watched a playthrough of it, specifically of the genocide run.
I have heard
You can have a pacifist run or a genocide run, or mix in between. But the beautiful thing about this game is that it always remembers. And if you complete a genocide run, it's the deliberate seeking out for destruction. There's literally nothing else to achieve. There is just the blind pursuit of nothing but hate and death and destruction. And by the time you get to the end of it, there is nothing waiting for you. There is literally a black screen and the question of, why are you still here? And I love this game so much for that reason alone. That it will sit there and it'll remind you of what you did and the price you had to pay to do it. Because that's really what evil is that it is the price to pay for deliberate, unjudgmental hate, destruction, and pain for no other reason than to just do it.
I like how your brain worked in a way. You start talking about evil and you thought of video games.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about rapists and serial killers and whatnot. I was like, are you
because
sure
they're
about your definition?
Well,
because they have their own justifications. They believe that they are right. They believe that they're doing what they're doing is right to them.
So
that's not evil. That is misguided.
Not always. Some of them do know they're doing the wrong thing, and they do it anyway, and they enjoy it. And there's no changing them back in society.
That's still misguided. because they have a twisted view of what their morals are now. Oh no.
What do you mean by oh
you
no?
just
Um, I agree. I could agree with what you're saying. Yeah. I do believe there's evil. I believe that is a thing. For me, though, my definition is, it's not even a definition. My ideal, my thought on it is that if I look at your decisions and over 50% of them are like fucked, like I'm calling Apple an Apple. You're pretty bad. You're a pretty bad dude. You're a pretty bad person. Like I mean, and the further you are away from that 50 is when I say you go from being you go from being a bad person to an evil person. I don't think there's anyone who's 100% evil. You know, because I mean, usually those people, even people who get caught for doing something evil, aren't 100% evil. Like some of them have families. Who, you know, the rapists, the murderers. Some of them have families. Some of them take care of their home really well. Some of them don't take care of their home really well, but they do work really well. Or you know, something in that they have a niche, something that they do very well. So are they? They're not 100% evil. I won't say that, but you're not on my side. I would hope my side is the good side. First off, I don't know, but yeah.
I'm not saying that they're good, but I'm saying that they aren't evil. And another thing about evil is that there is no enjoyment in it. There is doing it because they feel it needs to be done. It's more about completion than it is about anything else. And like you said, those people who enjoy it, they aren't evil. They're twisted. It is a task that they feel that needs to be completed. So it is deliberate, it is intentional. And it's carried out no matter what failings come up. That's why I genuinely believe, I'm going to switch to a show now.
That's some Thanos shit.
Dracula from Castlevania.
Oh my god, I love that man.
I like.
He is a broken, sad individual, but he was evil. He was
evil?
He was evil, but he had
But
a
you said no one
righteous
was
reason.
evil.
He had
You
a
said no one's
righteous
evil.
reason.
But you said no one's evil.
Hang on. The act of
So he was evil for the right reasons?
no. He was a villain for the right reasons. The plans that he was carrying out was evil because it was the slow, systemic eradication of the human population. He had no revel in it. He didn't enjoy it. It was a task that needed to be done, and it ends with nothing but death, destruction, and hatred, and him dead. Everything would have died if he completed his act. It would have been evil because it's literally genocide on a global scale.
In a way, he knew that, and I think that's
And
why
he-
in the
yes.
end he was okay with his death and the fact that it was his son that killed him.
Yes.
So he was like, "I'm okay with this," because, like you said, the whole time he was like, "I really shouldn't be doing this, but these people got to go."
There would be moments in him that humanity would come forth. Yes, that his love and his passion, that those things would come forth. Literally, the story of I love Castlevania for so many reasons.
Yes, we all. do.
But like the thing, especially with me, like, getting more and more into storytelling, like, I feel like I'm, like, at least shoulder deep in like, learning about doing literary analyses and whatnot. Like, the thing that I kind of understand now is that Alucard is his humanity winning. It's his love for his wife and his children and the world that wronged him so winning. And accepting the fact that it's not perfect and that it's not good sometimes, but that it's still worth living in and dying for.
And it's like the sad part, the sad part about that is something that Dracula was learning. His wife sent him out into the world and be like, see how wonderful humans are. I want you to see that I'm not the only good person on earth. I want you to go out there and learn about them, everything. For him to come back to see that the townspeople found out where he lived and killed his human wife just for being in love with him in the first place.
No, they actually thought she was a witch.
Could be both.
It could
Actually.
be both. But
I think it might be both.
if I remember correctly, I feel like those passport bros would be the Wallachians. But it's like the church was like, how are these people being healed? I thought, like, I thought God turned their back on them, and then they found
She was just being science.
I feel so
to
bad.
heal
I
them.
feel so bad that I don't remember her name. But they found her and what she was doing. No, someone told them what she was doing.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, this is witchcraft. And it's like, no, it's science. I'm
It's
trying
like,
to heal people.
Exactly, science.
And they were like, no, you're a witch. We're going to burn you at the stake.
Like how most women have died in history.
Like how most women have died in history. No, I wouldn't say most. But
there are a lot of women who have died.
Salem would disagree. I know. Salem would disagree.
Because
Localized
men thought
event.
witchcraft
Yeah.
was going
Localized mass event.
Localized mass event. Yeah.
And then, mind you, after he found his wife dead in the streets for no reason, he gave them a year.
Burned at the stake.
Yes. I didn't want to get into specifics.
You're right.
But-
You're right. In case someone didn't watch this almost 10-year-old show.
It's okay. We can give a small breakdown.
Be surprised.
I know, right?
Someone needs to watch. People.
The people.
People out there, please watch
You know
this show.
your camera's right here.
I'm looking at the camera. Watch the show.
But mind you, he gave the townspeople a year to get their act together and repent for their sins for killing his wife. And they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So then a whole year came around. He was
Well-
like, all right, then y'all have to die.
If you believe you did something just, would you apologize for it?
See, and that's
true.
Yeah. And
They
that goes-
believe what they did was
they
right,
believe
and
what
they
they
thought
did
they
was
had
right.
nothing to apologize for.
Mhm.
But you also knew who she was in bed with, and you decided to come when she was not home to kill her anyway. And
I
you
don't
thought
think they did.
you were not going to.
I mean, I don't think they.
No, they found her in his house.
Right, but I don't think
Mm-mm.
they went to.
They
get
knew
her.
that was Dracula's place.
Right. I don't
So it
think
was
I don't think initially they were there for her though.
I don't think they
No,
were.
yeah, they were there for Dracula, and they
Yeah.
found her.
No.
You know what? None of us remember.
No, I remember. I remember this scene. Messed up. It
Yeah.
was her house. She had her own house that she was working out of. And this person that she ended up curing, he went to the church and was like, there's some shady shit going on. And brought the church to her house. And the church was like, oh, this is all witchcraft shit. And she's like, no, this is science. I'm trying to help you. And they deemed her a witch and decided to burn her at the stake. She looked into the sky and was like, Dracula, please do not hate these people. And guess what? He still did.
He gave it a year.
He gave him a
He
year.
said, the best I could do is a year.
And we all would have, I would have been on Dracula's side if he stopped at Wallachia. If
That's
he
true.
went ahead, literally reduced Wallachia to ash,
Yeah.
I would have been fine.
And
I
like,
would have.
we
I would
understand.
have. I wouldn't have. I actually would have went ahead, turned myself into a night creature, and been there with Dracula.
You said you can bite
If
me right
I
now.
could.
I understand.
So you were okay with killing all the innocent people in Wallachia?
The innocent. Okay. Here's the thing about Wallachia. Let's use Wallachia as this. So it's not so much. They're not innocent. They're not entirely innocent.
You think? You don't? Think?
Some of them, maybe like a small handful, like very small handful, like children just being born.
Or children in general.
Children, I would say, just children being born.
Children are innocent, aren't they? They don't know no better.
Why do you say this? There's a reason you're saying not even children who are children. Only the
Yeah,
ones
like, damn, what do you got against a
fresh out.
10-year-old?
The maybe the children, maybe the children, because
Fuck them kids. That's what I'm saying. God damn.
because children are very smart. They're very smart, and maybe not killing kids. That's a little steep.
What did you say about evil again?
Killing kids is a bit steep, but like there's some, like Dracula said, someone could have spoke up. Someone could have said something. Any number of them who has been helped at that could have said something. They chose not to. They chose to be complicit and let her die.
Or they just didn't go to his house. They stayed home and made dinner for their significant other,
That's
who's
entirely
making
true.
$250,000 a year, and was like with the kids. And now they get to be shish kebabs,
Yeah.
and they didn't even do anything.
That's entirely
I
true.
believe it was kind
But
of a
they-
small town,
Oh,
and
it
the
was,
church
yeah.
did like broadcast what they were going to do, and then after it was done, they did tell everyone.
They also celebrated
Yes.
a year after
Mm-hmm.
for the death of a witch.
Yeah, but that's not
A witch.
everybody.
Everyone
was in
celebrated
town.
in town.
I feel like they didn't take a census prior to the party, so I'm there's been times where there's a free party down the street from my house. I'm like, I'm just not going.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like,
Mm-hmm.
nah. So I can't believe everybody, but I hear you. Now, also he gave a year, so if you didn't agree and you didn't go and you decided to even stay for that year, you decided to be Christian.
you decided
Yeah,
decided to be
yeah,
Christian.
you-
Yeah.
Because like
you're-
back in the day, it was very easy for you to pack up your shit.
Yeah,
and
you
move.
could just go.
Like you could have moved.
Like I would imagine that the people
Like you
who
knew what was coming
received-
to you in
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah, Lisa?
Pilgrimages were a thing.
I think
Is her name Lisa?
Lisa.
No, not Lisa.
I think it was something like that.
It's a JoJo reference.
I don't know.
I'm
If it was a
surprised
name
you
so
know
specific.
that. Ugh, made me sick.
You make me sick.
But yeah, like people, I would imagine like the people who like did receive Lisa's care, and were probably like, nah, we gotta go. Like
You would hope so, but they just
we
didn't
gotta
stay
pack
there.
up
It was
and
like,
go. We gotta
hey,
go
you
to
know,
the
she
next
was kinda
neighboring
witchy.
town.
You'd hope.
I would hope, or at least like, jeez, man. So we were talking about Passport Bros.
we're so way off from that.
I mean, like it's related adjacent, you know.
I did want to say like something, I guess positive about, not positive about the Passport Bros, but something I slightly agreed on, because she talked about certain men, like our short kings of the world, will go somewhere else. They're like, hey, American women don't appreciate me just because of my height, just because I'm just a little shorter.
So I got.
And so,
Real quick.
I'm not done. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here with you on that one. I was like, because it's not right. Like, there could be a man that's perfect, checks off all the boxes, and then there's still a woman in the comment of a video that's like, okay, but how tall is he? He looked kind of short. I'm like, he checks off all your boxes. Are you
Yeah, no,
serious?
it's really disrespectful, honestly.
Right. So it's like, I'm not mad at you. Like, you wanna go to Peru, France, wherever, try to find someone who appreciates you for you, cool. Because not a lot of American women do that. You're saying?
I'm just saying, why is he got to be a short king? Why?
Why is that the problem?
No, it's not. It's
Well,
not a problem.
it's just one of the attributes that she said. It doesn't have to be short. It could be overweight. It could be he's darker.
That was
he's
just
black.
the
he's
part she was talking about.
He could be because he's got maybe he only has one eyeball or something. Maybe he's got something. He checks all the
It's
boxes,
like
and there's
physical,
one thing
like
that's
that
like
one
fuck.
physical
Yeah.
aspect someone can't get over, and it's like, I can't have love too. And it was like, I check off all the boxes, I do all the right things, I've never committed a crime, but I have this one physical thing that's
I don't
wrong
know.
with
Some
me.
women out there will be like, I mean, he committed a few crimes. I'll go ahead and risk it.
I mean, there's a lot of women out there that be like, "Ooh, I like bad boy," and like, knowing damn well you're gonna get fucked over. But anyway,
He went to jail for what?
He said,
It's
"What
not that
was
bad.
it?"
I can change him.
I mean, I'm there with you if it's like, because we know how it is in the U.S. It was like, any one of us in this room could be arrested for something we didn't do or something that was really small. So, like, on one hand, it's like, well, what did he do? Because the judge, the prosecutor, whoever's in that courtroom could be lying. So, on the one hand, it's like, yeah, what did he do? Let me look into it, actually. Like, it's probably not that bad. But one of those women who is literally on a video phone call with a man that is in prison right now, and I have seen this before, and I'm like, how did my timeline get here? Why am I seeing a man in an Idaho prison? Of women watching these videos like, oh, I can change him. Bitch, you can look up his name, his code, and his birthday and find out what he did.
It's like he's raped like 4 women and only got caught because he killed the last
She said,
one.
but
It
he
was
kind
like,
of fine, though.
You mean like that one prisoner that ended up being a model?
Yeah, that one
Man.
light-skinned guy with the blue eyes, and they just turned him into a model when he got out. I don't even remember what he did. I don't know what he did.
You remember those blue eyes though?
I do remember what he looked like, that's for sure, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Have you seen Arcane?
Of course we have.
Bro.
I was just
Both
thinking about
seasons?
that shit earlier.
Wait, where is it? Where is it? Hang on.
Seen both seasons. Yeah.
Where's it at? Where's it at?
Where is what at?
Where
Oh, your poster?
where is
I saw Jinx Funko Pop the other day. I was like, oh my god.
I almost got you a Jinx Funko Pop.
I seen it. I was
Jinx
like,
and,
there are Funko Pops of Arcade.
Dude, have I watched
You know the
I'm
days?
just saying.
have I watched oh that's upside down.
It's okay. We get the gist.
Have I watched Arcane as a League of Legends enjoyer? Yes, I have.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
You didn't have to admit
where
that
you
on
are.
camera.
Where you? No, you have to. No, you have to because no one believes
Terrible.
that anyone likes to play that game.
They don't. No
No
one
one does,
actually
no.
enjoys playing the game.
Excuse you.
You don't.
I do.
Like in the beginning,
You
you
like-
enjoyed it, and then eventually
You
all
like
of you
the
start
thought.
to hate
You like
it.
the thought of playing the game,
I
but the
like-
game itself
No,
and the people who play it.
All of you are like, I
You
wasted
said
my
you said you
time.
don't believe in evil,
Ah,
and you
the
play
people-
League of Legends with people.
the people who play it is a different story because people are just people, and sometimes you just need to strangle them a little bit, just a little.
Don't give excuses for this game.
And on top of that, people think that League of Legends players aren't able to have sex or get married or any of that. And I have both. So, in your face, it can be possible. And one of the YouTubers that we watch has a girlfriend and likes playing League of Legends. So, boom. There we go.
That's one.
That's out of
You're like, that's not
hundreds
a lot
of thousands.
No, 2 YouTubers that I initially watched because they made League
That's still
content,
not
both
a
of
lot
them left.
people.
So I'm not surprised. It's a very
Select minority.
Yeah.
What were you about to say about our cake?
Nothing. I'm just thinking like the show itself. I can't remember the dude's name. The doctor, the two doctors, Victor.
Jace.
Victor.
says
Yes.
says at one point the problem with removing all strife and problems is humanity. At its core is humanity. That's why you will never be able to appease everyone. So in order to do that, everyone has to be one. I agree. Everyone doesn't have to be one. I agree with you will never find peace. We will never find peace. Unless there's like some like planetary situation that where we all have to come together. In which we won't. We'll all die. And then aliens will take over the earth and, still...
People get probed.
Yeah. Yeah. It will, or be slaves.
Again.
But that was like at the end of the show because Victor almost won. But if humanity didn't come together in this last moment to fight against basically the oppression and Victor's view of what we were supposed to be, what we could be, I was like, we wouldn't get sick, we wouldn't die. Like it could be like this. It was like, pause. We're supposed to get sick. We are supposed to die at some point. It is okay, Victor. But he didn't see it that way. And that was the only way everyone would come together.
However, he did see it that way because...
Eventually, yes.
Yes, because he went back in time to give the other doctor, what's his name? His friend? His buddy?
In the alternate reality, he went... in the
doctor
alternate
himself.
reality, where he won, that's where he went back and he gave the thing to Jace and he told him to do better.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way,
Yeah.
real quick, that's fucked up. The fact that he's ascended to godhood and was like,
I done fucked
Jace,
up.
you need to do better. It's like
He said, you should have
Sir.
brought me back to life.
Well, he knew he would be the only person that could stop him.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
All right, let's clear the room now.
you about to fart?
No,
Okay.
Echo is perfect.
Echo is perfect.
Echo is perfect.
I plan on cosplaying Echo.
Echo was perfect.
Echo is perfect. There's nothing else that needs
I
to be
have
said.
started acquiring things so that I could put together an Echo
Yes.
Nice.
cosplay. Yes, that's gonna happen.
Nice. I'm for it.
And when you get your hoverboard working, I'll actually use that
Oh
for
my
cosplay.
goodness.
Yeah. Such a good show. So Passport Bros.
Should we play it back and like stop whenever whoever wants to make a point of what was said, or should we just not? I don't know what time looks like. We have time. We have time. We have all the time.
How
We
much
have
have we recorded?
an hour,
Damn.
maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, it's only 2:04,
Wow.
so we have time, and you can always edit it.
Man.
It's up to you. I rewinded it back to the beginning, but I know there was. I saw light bulbs go off on everybody's head as she was going through what each person was saying, which Nedison was saying.
Actually, I was thinking about this too. I recently decided to go back and listen to Philip McKernan. And he has like this one workshop from like I think 11 years ago that I just went ahead and was like I was listening to what was I listening to initially? Like why men like The Last Stand. Like this person had this story, right? Where this Viking camp was drunk, hungover, ended up sleeping through an invasion from the British Army. And it was on some bridge. And as the Vikings were like trying to escape, this one man, unnamed, fought over 500 fought and killed over 500 British soldiers and was dubbed the name Berserker. And he fought off so many soldiers until someone went under the bridge and stabbed him with a spear. Ending of that story is really lame, but the idea of men liking the last stand or like dying in battle against a unformidable odds. And I was thinking about that when we were talking about Arcane with Echo. Like, he overcame the limiter on his Z drive.
The time bomb.
Yeah. He overcame that because it needed to be done. It's that draw of the indomitable human spirit that I think that everyone is drawn to. But for some reason, we as men have an even stronger draw to that. Could be biology. Could just be the fact that we're, I don't know, like our brains haven't fully gotten out of that mindset of like, yeah, we need to fight with everything that we have to protect the things that we love. So I was watching that, and I was just decided to listen to this other video essay on God of War 4, like the new remake that ended up coming out with Atreus and Kratos and his son. Wow, I'm
like Atreus.
I need sleep, is what I need. Probably food. But I was listening to these video essays about like men and who they are, and it made me think about Philip McKernan and like what it means to be authentic and like authentically in yourself. So I decided to listen to that, and thinking about it now, like, it's weird that these guys feel the need to go somewhere else to feel like they're valued. Like they don't see their own value. Or like they have to receive validation for what they bring, for what they value. And like, what? You look like you had something to say.
I don't.
You just keep saying that. He's like,
I'm having internal battles over here, so that don't. Like, there's not. I don't really have to say anything. I'm just like arguing with myself.
Fair. You want to bring that argument out into the ground, onto the foreground?
he's
No,
not exactly the camera though.
Oh no, it's coming. I just want you to get out everything before. I don't want to like
fair.
Erase your train of thought.
I mean, if
I also have my phone here,
erased,
so I can like type in what it is I'm thinking.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. But it's just like to be authentic with yourself. Something that he said that kind of struck me was that you have to go back into your past and sit down and understand it. Understand who you are. Like, your past made your present, and it's making your future. And it's like it really makes me think that it goes back to actually what I had said earlier, like that introspection is missing. And they think that there isn't anything wrong with themselves, you know? Like, I'm not. And, like, I'm laughing because like, it made me think of the women who would be like, I don't have problems. Everyone else is the problem. I'm perfect. And it's like, that probably means that you're the problem. And like, when they say that, like, I'm the prize, it's like,
Who told you that?
yeah, like,
And this is how they feel.
it's how they feel. And
I mean, that's like a self-worth situation. I mean, you're not looking for someone else to tell you that you're the prize, right?
Right.
Like, that would be a bad situation waiting to happen. Like, so you have to have that, some type of confidence, some type of.
The problem is they have too much confidence in themselves that all of a sudden they think that they are the prize in every scenario and in every room.
I think it's the opposite. Actually, I don't
Yeah,
think
no
they
way.
have.
They don't have enough.
I don't think they have enough.
That's why they're seeking validation from women in other countries to tell them.
Another thing that Philip had said is that pride and shame. No. It wasn't Philip that said this. It was the video essay on Kratos. Pride and shame come from the same place. Where you think you are too much or too little, both come from your ego. I'm sorry, Kayla. Am I boring you? Am I boring you with my like, thoughts and whatnot?
What if you were?
Then I'd be really sad. What else do you think would happen?
Okay, so okay, both your opinions.
I know I said a lot. I'm
The passport bro doesn't feel like he's valued in the situation that he's in, being whatever country he's originating from. So he's going to somewhere where he feels valued, because ideally the same situation is going to be here where there's there. The female's going to want to feel taken care of and safe. Him going somewhere where he can demonstrate or show that he can do that versus staying where he is that not the same as a female in the States fighting for equal rights? Because they don't feel valued where they are society-wise. So they're fighting for change. Instead of him staying here and fighting for change, he's going somewhere else where he can find what it is he's looking for.
In a way, it's similar but not the same, because she kept the fight here in her home, where she wants to be. She wants things to be different here. And he's not fighting for change. He wants a woman who is the same as him, who thinks the same way. He doesn't want anyone who thinks differently.
Right.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want his woman to fight either. He doesn't want a woman that's going to fight him on it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, who wants to fight in a relationship?
No, he wants someone who's subservient, so he doesn't want any back talk, so to speak.
Sorry, that just made me cringe inside. I'd say it's the opposite side of the coin. If that makes any sense.
Elaborate a little for me and whoever else might be listening.
I think it's when I say the opposite side of the coin, what I mean is that instead of fighting for other people to see what your worth is and try and elevate you from that, you're going out and demonstrating what your worth is. So instead of
Who is?
the passport bro in question.
Okay.
So instead, like you said, it's is it different from a woman fighting for her rights, or for anything really? And I'd say I'd say it's the opposite side of the coin. Like it's the same but different.
Mm.
Like it being outside of the U.S., almost like they're kind of strutting out like a peacock.
Is that what the top 10% here do in the States? They kind of, I mean, there's red carpets, there's galas that you as a person,
top 10%.
5, 2, whatever number
Like
you want to
some
put
number,
up there.
yeah.
The top.
Whatever number you want up there.
Mhm.
You know, there's galas, there's parties, there's things that you don't even know about are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Only you get to see, like, you know, some of the stuff on online or on TV.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of shit that you're not a part of. You're not. So
Mhm.
is that not the same? Like, is that not? There's a lot of stuff people in these other countries that they don't get to be a part of. But when someone who's more well off comes around, you get to see them briefly. Whether you might be grocery shopping or, you know, picking the kids up from school, you see this person, this wealthy American or wealthy German or
Mm-hmm.
Australian or, you know, wherever you see this person come through, and you're like, well, what the fuck, like, what's going on there? And, you know, you see they're a person of importance of some magnitude, because they're not driving the car that you're driving, probably not driving at all, being drove or flown over top of you, or, you know, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
How is it any different?
It's not as grandiose. It's not as big. It's definitely on a smaller scale. I feel like I should ask you to elaborate as well. Like,
Okay.
what you mean by a woman fighting for her rights.
So mainly is fighting for equality right now is what the big thing is, right?
Mm-hmm.
In safety.
Mm.
These are things that American women are fighting for, to be taking to have a similar role in the relationships, be paid or have the same rights or have the same opportunities in the workforce, and be in charge of their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually, that's kind of on both sides of the. I don't even know how to come to an agreement on that one, but yeah, in terms of that, isn't that the same thing as him going somewhere else to find someone who values him for what he can provide for him as a person? If he's fine, I mean, if that's what that passport bro is actually doing, and not going just to, like, taking his fuckboy over there to have less limitations on him being a fuckboy.
Right. I stand by what I said. Then, like, opposite side of the coin, and not just the fact that it's like opposite gender. It's like it could be seen that what women are trying to fight for is more morally upright and righteous and overall, like, good and necessary, while what the passport bro is fighting for is kind of seen as sleazy and it's kind of seen as sleazy and, like, gross, that type of thing.
For you, morally?
No, I'm saying, like, optics wise.
For who, though?
Just general people.
Hmm.
Like, in terms of morals, then yeah, it could be seen as that. I wouldn't say that I see it that way. Like, for those people going out because they want an easier lay, fucking cool, whatever. You want to feel as if you are powerful, go ahead. It's not my place to have a say in what people want to do with themselves. So long as you're doing right by the other person, as long as there's consent, have at it. At the end of the day, everyone has a choice. So long as everyone has a choice, then okay.
I mean, yeah, everyone has a choice, right?
Right.
Like, you're not going. They are not going. Passport Bros. But still talking about Passport Bros. They are not going over there. Well, I hope they're not going over there and putting anyone in the chokehold. Like, you're going to be my wife. Like,
Right.
I hope that's not what's going down. Like, I hope it's.
It's probably more subtle than that, though, if that is the case. It's
Showing
not
her
so
things
much.
she's never seen before.
Yeah.
Maybe educating her on things, and slowly I was like, "See, you want me as your husband, don't you?" And then slowly getting there and proposing.
Isn't that anyone? Does not happen here? Do men and women not look at other men and women and look at them like, oh man, he has or she has these things. They can do these things for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not the same?
It is.
Similarly, it seems like half or majority of these passport bros have a more nefarious reason for being over there and trying to choose a wife in a different country than their own. Like, some of them have said, like, they want someone who's subservient, who's not going to look into the ideals of the American women do. And it was like, so similarly, but not the same exactly.
I also don't like that term, like, American women. It's like, I would argue that you don't want an educated woman. Maybe not in terms of like schooling, but educated in a sense of like you know, book smarts versus street smarts type thing.
Well, schooling could come into play as well, because you don't know, like, what their school system is like, where he's going.
I mean,
That's a good point.
Or
I
maybe
personally never thought about that. Next time I go to another country, I need to dive into that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
Or maybe some of
actually
them, they didn't go to school for that long, or maybe they couldn't go to school at all. Maybe they had to work at home with their dad or someone like that.
I currently work with a lawyer and a marketing professional who went ahead and left their country because they thought America had better opportunities. But they can't do that here because we don't recognize that level of education.
Right.
Which really sucks.
Yep.
Some people can already get their degree in their country, but come over here and they're like,
Have no
you
no
gotta
credit.
do it again.
Zero credits, yeah. Like, we worked with someone who wanted to be a doctor or a nurse, went ahead, studied abroad, and they said, you can't bring those credits here.
That even happened to me in high school. There were these two twins who came over. It was their senior year, but the school system didn't recognize their degree. So imagine doing your whole senior year over again because they didn't recognize it from where they came from.
I've seen and heard that.
That
Not even
happens.
just coming from another country. I've seen that going from one state to the other.
That is so true.
I had
like
Going from
I've
one
told
school
you.
to another.
I've told you this. I went going from New York to here in Virginia. They were like, "Hey," so I was a sophomore. They're like, "Hey, you're gonna have to redo freshman PE."
That's wild.
Crazy, because I'm like, what? What do you mean I have to redo freshman PE?
And it's like, what was so important about freshman PE that I gotta redo?
Like I did crazy stuff while I was in New York, and then I come down here and it's like, yeah, just go do that, and I'm like, what am I doing?
The amount of times I've transferred schools somewhere and something didn't correlate, and I was like, yeah, you can't do that. Do this class, or like I'm somewhere, I'm like, I swear to God, I took this class.
Oh my God. When I took health with freshmen, now I can't say anything because those freshmen, I was closer with any of those freshmen than I was with my actual class. Like, actually, I had mostly freshman classes. Now that I think about it,
Did you dirty?
not mostly,
Derailed.
not mostly. Kind of mostly, and they were also like, "Oh, you seem to be smart enough to have like AP classes and whatnot, like pre-AP classes." But I digress. I was closer with the freshman class than I was with the actual sophomores. And then when I graduated, I'm like, shit,
I don't even know y'all.
I don't even know these people.
Fair.
But it's like, I feel like that has something to do with the American education system than it does with, I feel like that has something to do with the American system
Yeah,
than it does with anything else.
The American education system is more of a business
Yeah.
It is.
than
Yes.
like education from in my perspective.
Mm-hmm. Like they're essentially training you to be an employee. They're training you for work.
Either training you for work or getting you ready to go to prison.
Yeah. New York is weird though. Their education system is weird.
Would you like to divulge on that?
Maybe it was because I went to a charter school that it was weird. Because we learned so much, went to so many different colleges and universities, and even learned about different cultures and like cultures and languages and anthropology and like about just the world as like how big the world is. And then I came down here and it's like, yeah, just do this thing. Focus on this thing.
Just do your work, turn in your assignments.
Like I genuinely believe that while I was in New York, I was fostered to think more creatively. Even if it was like elementary, middle school into like bits of high school, I was still like the school that I went to, World of Inquiry, also known as School 58, because we had numbers. But I went there and it was like a different level of knowledge, if that makes any sense. And I'm not saying that it was better or worse. It was just so different. Like we came down from Rochester, New York, down here to George Washington University in DC to learn about African American history and anthropology. I don't think there's a lot of schools that do that aren't like private schools. And my school is like a public charter school.
You know, honestly, after like elementary school, I don't remember going on a lot of trips to museums or anything like that. It's like when you enter middle school and high school, they stop caring about those things. And it's like the creativity stops here.
That's what I'm saying. Like the school
Yeah.
I went to was, because we went to the Air. Yeah, we went to the Air and Space Museum.
Right.
We even went to the what is this museum called? The The Smithsonian Aerospace Museum.
Exactly.
All the way down here. We went to
public
all the
system is different.
Smithsonians. Damn, I was really privileged.
Public school is much different than charter or private school, and that's what a lot of people say here. Schools called like a Montessori school, which aren't available everywhere.
Bless you.
I'm getting there. You've seen them before here in Virginia. I think it's more for like a different way for like pre-K and elementary schools, but it's not the same as like if you send your kid to a pre-K or like a normal like elementary school where it's just like assignments, teach them this or whatever. But at a Montessori school, I don't know if I'm saying it right, it's more of like creative thinking and teaching them to think outside of the box already at a young age. So our school system is fucked and it's different like where you're at. Or just my experiences, I went from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, where that middle school I had a typing class, I had home ec, I was there teaching you how to sew, I had a typing class. I'm sorry, did I say typing already?
Yeah, you did.
But then when I switched here to Woodbridge, Virginia, I didn't have those classes in middle school anymore.
I had those classes too. I really liked typing and then home ec. We even opened our own school restaurant for a bit. And like we used the skills from home ec to go ahead raise money for like supplies for the class.
See, that's like college level stuff, because that was like
crazy, right?
Yeah, because I knew at Old Dominion, that's what like the culinary students, that's what they did.
That's
those
so
were also
genius.
Those were also the students who made our meals in the. I was like, but that's smart. You're a culinary student, so that you also cook for like the student body. It was like, oh. And like they had signs up in the cafe, like if you read them, you would know like those people are also students.
I was too busy like indulging in gaming
and everything
and all that. I was not a good student. Not at Old Dominion. Not anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't apply myself very that much either. Not gonna lie.
Like once I hit junior, senior year, I'm like, I don't want to do anything.
He's like, I have to go where? To school.
Terrible. Terrible.
Like a child.
Yeah, no, I at one point I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be a passport bro. I got my passport. This is before like I didn't even do any research into being what a passport bro. I just saw people on YouTube traveling with their cameras and was like basically what I was doing, but on a smaller scale. Like educating people who aren't traveling, who haven't traveled, or to get out and like see these places and enjoy these cultural experiences in different places. I was like, oh fuck yeah, man, that's like right up my. That's what I'm. I go places, come home, tell my parents, tell my friends, like, hey man, I saw this. It was this. The plane ticket wasn't much. You could get on there, get your passport. It's not even hard. It's like a meeting. You go have a meeting at a post office. You get your passport, $40 or $80. Extra 40 if you want to expedite it, and you can just go, man. You can just go wherever you want to go as American. You can almost go anywhere. You don't need a visa. You just need the passport. Some places. Just go. And I was like, oh man, I'm getting ready to do it. And then, the deeper I dove into what a passport, not all passport bros, but like there's this darkness that a lot of them live in and kind of promote this scenario of going somewhere and finding a wife in a third world country who is more in line with the traditional ideals that you think you want for a companion. And I kind of backed out, all the way out. Because it's like, I don't really want to be associated with that. I'll just continue to do. Maybe I'll make my own YouTube channel eventually, but like for right now, I'm just going to travel and enjoy traveling. And maybe I can get people to go, maybe I can't. But when I heard this, listening to the podcast I was listening to, I was like, this could be a good subject to kind of like touch on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like there's a difference between these men and you. It was like you can still travel and educate people on where you're at. Like I've seen like videos of people who like to travel or even travel as a single person or travel as a single black person, and they'll go around and tell you like where it's safe at for a black person. It was
Yes.
like where it was good for me to stay at. It was like what the experience was. So you can still educate people and not be one of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was just at the time I was looking at tagging myself and my videos as like, passport. And then I was like,
You're like,
whoa. Never mind.
You're like, I'm just a guy with a passport. He likes to go places.
Likes to go places. That's it. But doing research and finding out what a lot of the passport bros do or end up doing or stand for, I can't help but think, do I agree? Do I see these same situations? Do I feel? Have I experienced? Do I understand where they're coming from? Is it? Being empathetic. I try not to be, but oh God, Lord, I feel all the things.
Hey, look, I'm right here with you, bro. I'm right here with you.
As a man in America, if one could stay off of social media, I feel like they might not feel as though they do. But because as a country, not even as a country, because there's people.
Yeah, I know the Amish do exist.
As a country, I'll say that. As a country, we are too entwined. Social media is we are too reliant on it, and we're on it way too fucking much.
I agree.
Our views are heavily skewed by what we do see and don't see on it, and the algorithms that each of these social medias have will continue to put the same shit in front of you that you might not necessarily agree on, but because that's what's either trending or you might have watched one or two videos, you get
The algorithm starts feeding you the same thing.
While you're seeing people in prison like with booze. Why? I feel like if they were able to like be off the phone and just live their life in the area that they live in, they would have a different outlook. Maybe. I do feel where they're coming from. I see it. I hear it. I used to hear it a lot more when I was out and about prior to COVID. Since COVID, I'm more of a homebody, so the only time I do run into those situations is social media.
Don't.
Now that I'm actually getting out more, not necessarily here, but I am getting out more. When I am here, though, I do run into those when you're talking in a group setting, what females are looking for, and it is like unrealistic.
Yeah, there's an entire song about it. Want a man in finance, 6 foot.
I mean, you also have Kia out my back, all the other things. Like,
yeah,
just because there's a song doesn't mean.
I'm just saying. It's evidence.
There's movies about it too. I was like, that's what Tyler Perry was trying to say, right?
Yeah.
There are men and women with unrealistic expectations. Some people have a long list. I was like, that's not attainable. Or just like we came to, what was that? Like in 2020, all of a sudden you found out you can't have dates at Cheesecake Factory. or you can't go here, you can't go there.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you serious?
I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I can have a date anywhere.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yes. You guys ever have a picnic?
Yeah, like,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Have a
Awesome.
picnic? Jesus.
You ever just be outside in nature?
That sounds like torture.
Okay. Well,
So you can just take a walk in the park with like your date?
Yeah, no.
I'm like,
yeah.
Jesus.
So, yeah, I don't know.
like, do you mind if I use our life as an example?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. Like when we first started dating, she thought I was soft. I was a bit emotional for a man. What were you-
So the thing that like 80% of women want guys to be.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We
You're gonna have
met
to.
in high school.
We
Don't
met
look
in
at me
high
that
school,
way.
Fair.
Yes. But if you want to corroborate,
I thought you weren't done talking.
I'm trying to figure out, like, because I barely remember really. Like, I think about it sometimes, but I don't really. Because it's like, who you were then isn't who you are now.
Yeah, like we said, we met in high school.
Yeah.
I'm 28, you're 27 now. Like, different.
10
10 years ago.
Yeah.
That, like, high school ended 10 years ago.
No.
You guys
when
didn't.
We met.
Was last year of high school?
Yeah.
Or beginning years
She
of high
was-
school?
She was
No, I was a junior.
junior,
You
I
were
was sophomore.
When we initially met.
Yeah.
12 years.
Give or take. But yeah, I was a bit emotional for a man, and not only that, but there were also like, what else was there? It was like,
I feel like you were too much of a yes man. Like, I could ask
Yeah.
you of anything and you would just say yes, and I didn't
Mhm.
like that. Like, you would just do it.
yeah, that was definitely one of them. And then later on, you thought that I was a mama's boy. What?
a
Doesn't
bit,
wanna
yeah.
defend-
So.
Doesn't want to defend that one. But I forgot my point.
Maybe into it. It's funny how you asked me to use our life and you didn't get to the life part.
Because I was trying to figure out where. I'm trying to remember.
How much
What
have
were we
recorded?
initially talking about?
How much have we recorded?
Like an hour and hour and some change now, I
Mhm.
think.
I was about to say, I was like, I'm already losing steam. I was like, you seem like you're
Oh,
losing
yeah.
it. And I was like,
Oh, I had
I'm like,
coffee,
shit,
so I'm
should we
ready to go. As
stop?
long as you guys want to go.
we haven't eaten or nothing.
Oh, man, me
Yeah.
either. Just the coffee.
I
But I had coffee, so that's something.
had a banana. That's about it.
Ooh, I'd be sick right now with indigestion.
Mm.
If I were you. Just a banana? Oh, I'd be fucked
Like
up.
water and banana.
I'm really trying to remember why I wanted to use our life.
And I don't even know what we were talking about to help you out. Honestly, I can't help.
You had said something about men.
Women's
And
expectations of
Women's.
men.
That's what it was. Women's expectations of men. Thank you.
Me too.
Because ooh boy, was I about to drown
They're
in
like,
that.
you know what? Stop the recording. We can't figure it out.
Ooh boy, was I about to drown in that one. But yeah, like expectations were different then than they are now.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it was a combination of two things. And I would say that was the shifting of expectation as well as me changing.
Us changing.
Us changing. Fair.
'Cause mind you, so I look to you as he's a bit like emotional. Oh, he seems to cry a lot or something like that. Mind you, I was also a girl who didn't give into my feelings that often. I didn't cry. So it was like, this was weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he's very much opposite of what I'm used to and what I'm like. And I didn't like that. Then you showed me that it's okay to be in my feelings. It is okay to cry every now and then, especially if it's like a valid reason or something like that, right? But we've changed and we have grown. I'm sorry, you had a point you were trying to make.
No, that's the point.
Oh, okay. But that brings me back to like women's expectations. Sometimes, like, when you hear these expectations or these like grand lists that they have of men, it's like, did you not grow out of your mindset you had from high school? Because there are women who'll be like 35, 38, 40 something years old still with these long lists. It's like, this long list may be the reason you are unmarried and lonely and worried about life. Sorry, it made me go back to that Tyler Perry movie, Think Like a Man, I think it is. But they said that in that movie. I was like, you have all these long lists you're not trying to knock down. Or like the woman where she finds a man who checks all the boxes, but he's short. Or he checks all the boxes, but he's not her usual look. Or there's always something.
I think that was another reason too. Like, I wasn't your usual guy.
I don't really know. I can't think about to like what my type was back then.
That's entirely fair.
So I can't help you there.
Let's look at the previous boyfriends and find out.
Let's not.
You couldn't even look back because I didn't really take pictures. I think like my last breakup before you can't find any pictures after that.
What'd you say his name was? I'll find him.
No. I'm not in the mood to bleep out names. I'm doing good at avoiding names, goddammit.
Yeah, you are. I was like, oh, you talking about... I was like, ooh. Mute. Yeah. That's why I feel like, or I originally said, like, if these guys could stay off of social media, because on social media, that's all you know. You see, have you seen the web show series now where it's like one guy or girl comes up,
the pop the balloon thing?
Pop the balloon.
Oh God, I hate that.
I thought you were talking about the button.
I don't even. What is that?
I think the pop the balloon thing is worse than the button.
I feel like it's just as bad, really.
Yeah,
like,
no way.
It has a similar premise as Pop the Balloon. Like, two people will come out, guy, girl. They'll sit, they'll talk, and then a button in between them will light up red. You can press it to go ahead and skip them.
So it's kind of like you're swiping on an app. But you're right in front of them.
Yeah. Swipe that up right in front of you.
Yeah.
Straight to your
Similar
face.
concept. Yeah.
It wasn't because you had bad pictures. I just don't like it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're looking right at them.
Right.
But like with Pop of the Balloon, I really try and give everybody benefit of the doubt. But like I really do try. What?
In what way? You talking about the people who are there, like who are like the contestant, the one singular person, or are you talking about the people who are with the balloons? Who are you giving benefit of the doubt to?
The contestant.
Yeah.
Like I try and give grace to all my brothers.
In what way? Because
I try to give grace to my brothers. Okay, like for some people, immediately popping the balloon based on like appearance is like whatever, fine. You like what you like, cool. But when your reason is you dress kind of feminine, it's like, what do you mean by that? Please elaborate. Explain yourself. And
you got on capris that are capris.
Now
you're sagging capris. It's not gonna
those people. I can't say it.
Just kidding. You can wear capris.
But like, there was one instance where we watched like a clip of it, and this woman said that, I don't know, you dress for some reason. I don't like the way that you dress. Like, you seem to dress like very feminine. And we both paused to see what his fit was. And he looked like a well put together individual. And it's like,
Do you remember what his fit was? Like, just
no, unfortunately. But it's like, what do you want? Do you want someone that is like puts themselves together rather well, or do you want someone that will just haphazardly like put shit together? Like, you know which one I'm gonna bring up.
I think I know what you're gonna bring up now.
My boy comes to the shoot trying to look his best, but he comes in a long sleeve gray shirt. I think sweatpants.
Yeah, sweatpants are just like regular jeans and a broken watch.
And then a broken watch.
She
like
nitpicked
like
hell
the
out of
like
it.
the like the face of it was smashed.
No, she could tell it was broken because the dial wasn't moving. It was like,
Damn,
And
bitch.
he right. And I'm like, that's messed up. But then she's like, is your watch broken? And he's like, nah, it just needs a new battery. I'm like, that is broken.
We're like, that means broken. We're trying to help you.
I'm trying to go ahead and be like, he's not that bad. He's doing what he can. Maybe he had to
Yeah.
like rush to
What
the
if he was
shoot.
rushing? Like, shit.
But no, you're just. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to give you the grace. But you lack it. And I can't help you if you lack
It
it.
was
you're
like,
saying-
why'd you put it on if you knew it needed new battery?
Right.
But wait, let me touch on something.
So,
you
okay,
said.
wait.
Yeah.
You're saying he couldn't just have a bracelet? He can't
No,
just
it
be
wasn't
wearing,
watch.
he can't wear it as a bracelet, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I was like, what if he just knew it
Why
worked
is
with
it a
his fit,
watch
so he
then?
put it on. But it was like,
Maybe
why are
he
you
didn't have a silver.
nitpicking?
Maybe he didn't have a silver bracelet. That's the only thing silver that could go on his wrist. Fuck it. I mean, that at
He
that
was
point,
still
that's
trying
all
to
it
put his
is.
wrist together. Like, he was trying to put his fit together. He was like,
Yeah.
fuck, let me have an accessory. It's an accessory.
That's fair. That's entirely fair.
She still nitpicked the hell out of it,
It's
and it was
so
unnecessary.
That was rough. I
It's
mean,
so
and
Like,
especially because they're
man,
like
how did you
20
notice the
feet
dial
between.
wasn't working?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they walk up to the people that pop their balloons.
Oh,
Yeah.
true that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But like it's so nitpicky, and I
Yeah.
think people just have a jaded view of each other. Where like and like you said, social media has literally destroyed the human experience. We can't just go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like women will fear for their lives because they don't feel safe with men. Men can't approach women because they feel that
I don't think that's a social media thing though. That's like a just straight up
feel
like
safe
real
That's
life.
just that's
thing.
just
Yeah,
you're right. That's just life. Men can't approach women because they have a weird fantasy that is going on in their head, or they have, or sometimes they approach them wrong, and the immediate wrong vibes, and they leave, or it's like there's a lot of reasons, but I feel like social media doesn't help because you can't, like, as soon as you approach someone and things do start going well, some people will, like, their first instance is to give them their Instagram or their Snapchat or some sort form of social media, and they'll be either like messaging them on that or like stalking their Instagram or their feed or whatever they do. I don't use social media, so I don't know. Like that, I should
And you're
say.
married, so
That too.
Glad that was second.
I mean, it's obvious, but it's like it ruins the human experience. Like, and people don't seem to like going on dates anymore. Like, you have to go to a very specific place for a date, and then even then, when you do go on that date, it's like, well, I expect you to pay because I didn't bring anything. And it's like, well, okay. And like, if you can't pay, then you're broke. And I don't want to deal with no broke person. And that... And it might be a bit much.
I don't know what changed over there.
That was weird.
Yeah, something changed. I saw it in the peripheral. I was just gonna ignore it, like I do a lot of things
Okay.
in my peripheral.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say something.
I didn't feel like I was in danger.
Being broke is not the same thing as being poor. People seem to have confused what it means to be broke and what it means to be poor. If that person has no aspirations to increase their financial literacy and to increase where they're currently at financially, then yes, they are poor. You shouldn't be around poor people because poor people have a different mindset. And especially if you want to further yourself in your financial goals. If someone is broke, that means that they don't have any money right now. But that means that they can get money at any point in time and not be broke anymore. More times than not, I am broke. But that doesn't mean that I am poor. Frankly, I believe I am a rich individual. I'm starting that today. Don't quote me on it. But that doesn't mean that I do not have money. It doesn't mean that I am without. It means that I am lacking at this point in time and in this juncture. It doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way. I don't know why being broke is such a, oh, well, bye type thing. It's like an end-all, be-all situation. It's like, and then when they pull up in a Rolls Royce or in like some sort of expensive car and be like, hey, weren't you that girl that I dated like 3 or 4 years ago? It's like, oh, hey, I see that you got your money up. Why don't we go ahead and have dinner? It's like, nah, I'm married now. It's like,
well, that's because no one wants to struggle. No one wants to work. Ideally, no one wants to struggle and or work to get to success. What they deem success. No one does, right? Everyone wants the shortest way to get there. So when someone comes around who might be in the middle of their journey or beginning of their journey, it's not appealing to anyone or a female to it's not. It's not appealing to me. Like if I saw a female, I'm like, okay, yeah, she's got these aspirations, but she's done no work to get there. You know, like, man, fuck, I really don't want to deal with that. Same situation on the end. The female's looking at this guy. He's like, he has these aspirations. Okay, are you educated? No. Okay, that's so you don't even know how to get to your goal, right? It's hard to usher someone through that. It's difficult. Now, if you do find you someone. If you are one of the select few people who are able to find someone who when you're down or broke, maybe even poor, who believes in you and works with you to get you to that point, well, fuck, dude, or girl, fuck, you found like that's you hit the lottery early. You don't even know it. You hit the now.
I was just about to say maybe I'm just wired differently.
No, maybe, but then. I also don't agree with once you get into that position, leaving the person for someone else who's in a similar position for you as you at the time when this person helped you get there and believed in you. I don't agree with that. That's kind of that's another Tyler Perry movie. Yeah.
Because
that's all of the Tyler.
Yeah,
people do it. Yeah.
Celebrities do it all the time.
Yeah. So I don't know.
We can get back to this. There were two things I want to touch on that you said earlier. One of kind of we were talking about Pop the Balloon, and she was nitpicking his outfit, said he looked feminine. There's something about, I don't know if it's like women in general. Some women will look at a man and be like, I don't know, you're dressed a little feminine. It's like, what is it that you want? Do you want me to dress like I am a man that knows how to dress and shop for himself? Or do you want me to look like a bum that decided to go into Walmart and just pick up anything? Because it seems like you expected me to walk in here and still look like a bum. What did you want? And then you were talking about social media and how like people don't really want to date anymore. They want to scroll or like check people out on Instagram or whatever before going on a date. That's also a safety thing for women. We need to check you out on social media and check out your LinkedIn page and this, that, and the third before going on a date sometimes.
Well, you know what? I don't even.
No.
That is a wild search engine. Yes, to use. I would agree with that one.
I know they're looking on that to find out how much money he has, but it was like other things. That is more of a safety thing, finding out who you really are before going on this date.
But like, I don't know. Social media is exactly that. It's what you socially put out front. People aren't going to put out front that they're a fucking serial killer. Yeah, they're not like, so if you're going on there looking to see, like, get some kind of like, that's a shit's a fantasy. That's what people want you to believe or want you to see. The LinkedIn might give you a little bit more input on like their financial situation, like what they're bringing in yearly, but it's not going to tell you their bills and the wrong decisions they made all throughout their life until the point that they're at.
Right.
The only way for you to find out who this person is, a background check.
Yes.
I love that idea. Do that one.
Do a background check.
Got to. I'd suggest men do it too. Like you know, you don't want to be going into a situation where somebody was like aggravated assault or like robbery with the, you know, like, you don't want, I mean, maybe you do. Wait. And I'm not saying you don't want that. I'm just, maybe you do. Maybe you like that sense of danger. But some people like toxic relationships. I have ran into so many people who love toxic relationships. Like, they cannot be in a relationship that's without bullshit.
Toxicity.
Yeah. Like, I've had someone say, like, I've heard someone say, like, they haven't argued with their significant other in, like, all week. This is Wednesday, and it's like I haven't argued with him all week. Something's wrong. They must be doing something. And it's like, what do you mean? I would prefer not to argue ever.
Yeah.
Like what do you mean? I don't know. I do not want to, like, I would have to get out of that. Like, that's not safe for me.
That's where I thought we were at one point. Like, we both kind of came to a consensus where, like, if we had broken up again, we would just be done. Because there was so much back and forth, so much fighting, so many arguments, and, like, it hurt. It hurt us both.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just tired and exhausted. And so we both kind of came to an agreement, like, if we broke up again, we'd be done. And look how that turned out.
Yeah. We know people in our life, mostly in my life, that sadly we will still, like, go into these toxic relationships one after another.
I still want to strangle her too.
All the time. But because that is the type of relationship that they're used to, right? Like, this is their normal. This is what they think it is supposed to be. It's like, no. While at the same time, these same people who will go from toxic relationship to toxic relationship will look at couples or relationships like ours and be like, why can't I have that? You know exactly why.
Yeah.
It's because that's not what you like. But yeah, the popping of the balloon thing is like it. That right there shows you the climate in the dating.
Is that just an American thing too? Do they do that anywhere else? Like, is this video thing anywhere else? No,
I haven't seen that particular anywhere else, mainly because I would have to watch it subtitled, and while everything I watch is subtitled, I don't have access to the other countries, like, social media.
That's why you have
region.
To get our sponsor, NordVPN.
Oh my god.
Yeah, actually, that I did think it was a joke until, like, I was in Japan and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm on the train. I got a little bit of time. I'm gonna, like, look for something to watch, and I'm like flicking through Netflix. I'm like, what the?
Oh, it's different.
They have so many.
Yeah.
And I go to Crunchyroll and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They have so many other anime, like, whole seasons that we don't even have. What the fuck is? So like I'm like downloading shit, and then I get back here and it's like you cannot watch this.
Yep.
I was like, let me
It's
get me
not
a
doable.
NordVPN.
And
But yeah, so it's
for context, this is not sponsored.
You're like, that was a joke.
that was entirely a joke.
yeah, I don't know. That's the dating scene is.
I guess that circles back to passport bros then. Because, like, they feel like the dating scene is so irredeemable that they have to go somewhere else.
It also depends on their reasons.
It also depends on their reasons.
Like, certain guys, they seem like they had a valid reason to go to another country and look for love.
Mm-hmm.
While other guys was like, you just sound lazy and you're not actually looking, or maybe you need to sit down and have some introspective things. Like, you're probably the problem, actually.
Maybe.
Like, getting on a plane is not going to fix the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now, what if the passport bros do agree? They like, okay, Cheesecake Factory is not a good place to take someone. You know, maybe, or maybe it is. Maybe they feel as though it is, but that's still for them expensive. I mean, I've walked into Cheesecake Factory on a date. Me and that person, you know, one person, we have a appetizer, and then each, or maybe just one, depending on what's going on. We both get a meal, couple drinks. You're looking at a $240 bill sometimes for one date.
Don't mind you if you get some of that cheesecake, dude.
And that, yeah, and the dessert, yeah, you know, at the restaurant, the dessert. You go to one of these other countries, you can have the same meal for $60. And maybe take a girl who probably would never have been able to afford that meal on what she makes,
It's
even
probably
in a
grateful to
month,
just go to the
a
Cheesecake
month's worth.
Factory.
Yeah. So they're able to wine and dine
On a much lower bill. Yeah.
right? Something that's their pocket can afford.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not all the time about that person being lazy, or that's that person's profession. There's literally not a way for all of us. I'm gonna say it. There's literally not a way for all of us as people to make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do in Michigan? What are you gonna do in Idaho to make $100,000? Now, not saying that
they
you
do over there.
I have no idea. I don't
I
live
don't
there.
know what they do.
Chances are you're not.
You know what you could do? Take what the land gives you.
Well, then that's a different type of thing.
Apparently, what I've heard is that farmers are the richest poor men you'll ever meet. I would imagine, like, thinking of it as like a business standpoint, the amount of overhead that a farm requires is astronomical. And like, to make $100,000 a year in rural America, I would say is possible. It's vastly more difficult, but it's definitely possible.
Right.
For every American
For
to make
every
$100,000 a year, I would argue is possible. But it takes a certain level of creativity to do it. To eat like
every
every
person.
Yes. You have it, because to make that, yeah, you can find a job or like put yourself out there that you are worth 100,000. Sure. Someone else can see that and go ahead and pay you, or you can create the ability to be worth 100,000.
To be worth
100,000 or more. Because those are two vastly different things. A company can dish out so much more than what they actually do. They really can. It's just what the company is companies also trying to make money as well. So paying you $100,000 a year, they have to find a justification for it. You making yourself $100,000 is vastly different. I feel like that would be my counter question. Is it people being able to work and make $100,000 a year, or is it that they'll provide themselves $100,000?
I think anyone's able to work and make $100,000 a year. I think anyone's able. Maybe not like tomorrow. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do it. Like,
Right.
like. I feel like it will take some time,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think everyone is going to make $100,000 a year at the same time. Is what I'm
I
saying.
can agree to that.
So when you're looking at a dating pool, as you're entering a dating pool, and you know this is what you can put forth. I might have to come back to that too. This is what you could put forth as which what you're bringing to the table,
Mm-hmm.
and you're sitting at the table. And, there's this guy over here, this guy over there. This one definitely looks better than you. He's more well dressed. He speaks better than you. He stands up straighter than you. They all make more. Am I gonna stay here where I'm undervalued,
Mm-hmm.
or am I gonna go somewhere where my value I don't feel like I feel valuable. I feel like I'm a person. I have feelings. I have needs. I have love. I can provide just as much as maybe I feel as though I can provide just as much as any of these other people. But I've never even given the chance. I'm not even looked at.
Mm-hmm.
The balloon's being popped as soon as I say what I'm doing as a job, or what I'm making or what I'm bringing in a year. So it's like, what do I do? Do I stay here where I might have one date a year, maybe one date every 2-3 years? I have this outlook on life now because I've experienced. This is my experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not valued here by Western women. Do I see fault in that? I can't. I can't see fault in someone going over there to another country where the median salary over there is $10,000 a year. Oh shit! Now I'm rich.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looked at as I can't keep them off me now.
Right. But I feel like that says more about the people than it does about your value.
Maybe.
Because that means that...
What are they feeling? For you to live the experience and then go over there and it turns around and it's a whole different experience. How from their perspective, I have to look at it from I'm not living that life yet. I'm not living that life. So but I could put myself in their shoes. I can't help but feel to agree.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a meme once that I don't even remember it was. Take the phone, for example, since I don't have what they actually had. They had a bottle of water. They said a bottle of water. They said at 7-Eleven, that bottle of water is $2. In DC on the side of the street, that bottle is $5. Mm-hmm. If you go to Vegas, that same bottle of water in the club is $12. Mm-hmm. I've actually spent $24 for a bottle of water in a Las Vegas club. Never do it again, but
makes sense.
It's happened, right?
Right.
Same bottle of water is just different place.
Mm-hmm.
Valued differently in a different place. Do you stay where you're only $2 or do you go where you're $24? You're marketing yourself. This is business. The whole world is a business. Mm-hmm. You have to look at it from that standpoint. You have to, or you get left.
Sounds like I'm getting left then.
Well, you have a wife.
I mean, I have a wife, yeah.
So it doesn't really pertain to you as much. Now, she decided to leave you. Then now you're going to be thrust into the bullshit. And
I think I would still choose to be left.
That's okay. That's more than okay. Like,
right.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying,
because it's like to approach it from a business perspective is like now you're doing the one thing that they've done to you, removing the human element and being like, well, he's just worth this. And that's all he's ever going to be worth. Because we as people, our potential is quite honestly limitless. Limited, but limitless. In what we can imagine. Well, like,
Right. I just think there's a lot of people who aren't majority. I would say, throwing out numbers. I haven't done zero research in this. I would say 95% of people. I'd say 90% of people are with others who they believe that they can take care and provide for them as in a family. Like, I don't think there's anyone that's with another person solely off of potential.
I agree. I understand. It's not like like I said, it's not like I'm not understanding of the way that our current society is, and that's just the way that it is, unfortunately. But what I am saying is that that would be, excuse me, that would be essentially the same thing as what society has done to them. So there is no healing from it. There's no like standing out from it. You're just playing into society then. You're just playing into it. And if that's what you feel you need to do to survive, that's unfortunate, but okay. You can stand on your own 2 feet and turn your back on society and you'll still live.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's just that's what people feel like they need to do in order to make it through. Like I said, it's sad, but it's not like I don't understand. No,
I
nothing.
told you I'm lost.
Yeah, interesting.
Honestly, I'm okay with like kind of leaving it there.
Yeah, we can.
Like
We're still gonna
as
introduce ourselves.
unfortunate as it is, like that's the pandemic of this current society. And I guess the question would be if we could either maybe not fix, but like correct some of its issues, what would it be?
Some of what issues?
The issues in like for the issues in our
Societal
current,
issues?
yeah, our current dating climate.
Can't.
Nothing.
That'd be a lot of fixing. It's like you said, how like everyone can make 100,000 years. There was like there'd be a lot of things that would have to change in the U.S. for everyone to make that amount of money.
Yeah. Yep. Inflation would be insane,
Inflation would be insane.
and you would. The new norm would not. The new norm would also change. Like 100,000 would be nothing.
Yeah.
So like the new norm of like go back to the Cheesecake Factory thing. It was like, oh, you can't take me somewhere better. It was like, if everyone's making $100,000, why aren't I at a better restaurant than Cheesecake Factory?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
why aren't I eating like a big massive tomahawk steak right now? Instead, we all make $100,000 or more. Then that brings up that problem.
Or unless the tomahawk steak is no longer $84.99, it's now
$120
$278.99.
Like this is Wagyu tomahawk worth $300.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll take 2.
Medium well, please.
But like, I can think of maybe 2. And it might be a little rough, but bear with me. I think one of the first ones would be, like, I think it was either one of you had said it, background checks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we lived in a world where we didn't need to check backgrounds.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking hypothetical changes that
Yeah,
was
right.
never can never
Yes.
happen. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hypothetical changes.
Sounds like
Okay.
you
Because
should.
that's why I was like, there's no way. There's fucking no way. Like, there's nothing we
But-
can change.
I think my second change would be that for a first dates only, first 2 dates, social media would not be accessible for this person. You only have the background check to go off of.
What would that change? What are you looking to change with that?
I'm looking to change the interaction. What the actual approach is, how we approach each other.
Well, that's not exactly the problem with having social media. It's having it before the date, already looking at what other men or what other women look like, what they sound like. I was like, what you want out of a man or what you want out of a woman, be like, that's him. That it checks all the boxes. And then you show up on the date and this guy doesn't check all the boxes. It's the before and the after that's the problem. Not looking at that person's social media the day of, preparing yourself for this person you're going to be on a date with. That's not the big issue. It's us looking at all of these other people you'll never meet, and being like, that's the type of man that I want. Him right there.
That's why I said social media would not be accessible for that person that you're dating.
I feel like social media in its entirety needs to just go to the wind. If you don't have constant stimulation of telling you like this is what type of person, or showing you like this is what type of person this person over here is, or what type of relationship this couple, celebrity or not, this is what they're doing over here. Like I feel like you wouldn't have as many or as stringent of a need or want in your significant other that would cross off a lot of people.
I maybe wouldn't go as far as to just eliminate all social media, because there's a lot of things that we have learned even on social media. So
agree.
It's not always that it's so bad for us. There are things that we know now because of social media, because someone taught me through a video or someone has educated me from. So it's like,
I meant just in terms of dating. I didn't mean like.
So I would say
I've learned lots of things from
I was gonna say,
social
I
media.
learned how to change my brakes from
Yeah,
YouTube.
right.
Yeah, YouTube. Yes,
So I think it's more of the problem of seeing celebrities' lives and influencers. Those are like the two problems, especially with young adults and teenagers, seeing those things and expecting life to be that way, or
even
relationships to be
aspiring.
that way.
Or even aspiring to have that life.
Exactly. If we didn't have influencers nowadays, then teenagers or young adults wouldn't aspire to have that lifestyle.
Hell, I wouldn't even say just teenagers, adults too.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's also not saying that you shouldn't have aspirations. You should,
Yeah.
in
They're
dreams
just-
and stuff. It's just
Probably
slightly
certain
skewed.
people you shouldn't aspire to be as.
Everything's on a spectrum.
Yeah.
Everything's on a spectrum.
It's just you don't want to
Including
be
me.
on the outsides.
Huh?
You just don't want to be on the. Maybe you do want to be on the outsides. What am I saying? Be where you want to be.
Being on the outside of the spectrum is probably the best place.
Mhm.
Just be on one end of an extreme.